Hello and welcome to the show. I am here on Forza 6 with another silly car build. My vehicle today is the Mazda RX3, a car that I suspect will make a glorious noise, but may not be particularly easy to drive when it comes to the wet Brands Hatch circuit, you see, because the engine that I can put in here, well, it's the quad rotor. I do love the quad rotor. It is such a fantastically crazy engine for these cars. It's not going to be the most powerful engine that I have used in a silly car build, but it will make just an incredible sound. Now, I have used the quad rotor in the RX3 before. I used it for the C-Class speed run. And that car was, well, it was essentially the fully maxed thing with nothing in the way of handling parts. So this should be slightly easier to drive when it comes to the speed running bit, but that was in the dry at Le Mans. This, we're trying to deal with all of the power, and while yes, I will have the benefit of racing tyres, we can try to deal with all of this power in the pouring rain, and they are not very big racing tyres. 205s on the front. We're probably going to get maybe 245s on the rear. Oh dear, 225s on the rear. And with all with all of that rotary power going through it, I think this is going to be more of a sideways car than one that goes in a straight line competently. I really do think that I'm going to have some struggles with this car. Maybe it'll roll over. I don't know. I don't think it's as dead cert as it was with the VW Camper or with the Fiat 595. I don't think it's quite going to be as likely. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if I was to hit a curb wrong. I wouldn't be surprised to see this car fall over. It is nice and light, so while it's not quite going to have the same monstrous power as some of the vehicles that have gone around here, it is going to have pretty solid power to weight ratio. It might be, yeah, it might roll. It's, I don't know, it's not the lowest of cars, it's not the highest, certainly, of vehicles, but it's equally not the lowest, so, yeah, I'm sure I could if I wanted to make it roll over. I'm hoping we might not have too many issues. I wonder how light it can get. The roll cage is, of course, going to add some weight in. Are we going to get about maybe 1,970? I might have hoped a little bit lighter. Although, to be fair, for trying to keep this damn thing under control, that little bit more weight can give me that bit more stability, which is often nice. Okay, the finished engine, 800 horsepower, near enough from the 787B engine, 515 foot-pounds of torque. It is, 1,966 pounds. Interestingly, the PI isn't particularly high for such an impressive power to weight ratio and so on. That gives me cause for concern when it comes to handling. If the PI is that low when we have this much brute force, I think this could be a bit of a handful going around a circuit. Of course, my test track of choice is the Brands Hatch Indy circuit, where the Mazda will have 6 laps to try and go as fast as possible. Our current leader is the Lancia Beta race car with a 49.8 second lap time. And while this may make a better noise than the Lancia, I don't think we're going to go faster. I think we're going to spend most of the time sideways. Basically, I'm not sure we're actually going to be able to get to full throttle in this car. I think we may have too many traction issues. Oh God, careful with the curves. Yeah, so down there we are spinning the wheels in third. I'm guessing when we come out of here as well, we're going to have much of the sideways. Much of the sideways is going on out of that. It's just no grip. It may as well be driving on ice, quite frankly, with this car. Okay, can we find some traction down here? Can I get to full throttle without spinning the wheels? Nope. I haven't been able to do it. Yeah, actually got some understeer going through there. There's just not a huge amount of grip available. Pretty much. Oh dear. Please turn in, car. Thank you. There we go. Oh. We're just going to have to wait forever, I think, to get on the throttle out of there. And when we can get on the power, okay, we do briefly get to full throttle down there, 150 miles an hour before jumping on the brakes. Brakes are quite nice, actually, on this car. It gets stopped pretty well down there. Now we are hopefully, there we go. We've got a little bit of full throttle. It's just kind of as we start going up the hill. If we do a little short shift into third, we can get some full throttle. in this car. Oh, you've got to be so careful. There is such a thin line between, you know, accelerating out of a corner and just spinning the wheels. And trying to balance that line with this car is not the easiest thing that I've done. But equally, I thought this might be a little crazier than it actually is. This second lap, it's kind of calmed down a little tiny bit. Still, you do something stupid with the throttle, and you're going to be spinning. You're going to be sliding. Come on, get some speed down here. There we go, 155 miles an hour. Not too bad a first lap, but I'm not... Okay, we can go faster, but in doing so, you kind of tend... Yeah, oh, I'd hoped I could get more speed out of the car. I can't quite get away with that speed and then get the vehicle stopped. Honestly, the understeer is, I feel, hindering my lap time almost more than the oversteer. If I'm stupid with the throttle, of course, we're going to spin the wheels down there. You know, if I actually... If I just boot it, we're going to have a huge amount of wheel spin. But with a little bit of caution, you can do it better than I was expecting, managing the car. The understeer does feel, yeah, like it hinders that lap time. I just can't turn the car in. I think the issue with it is we just don't have the overall grip from the Mazda. It's why we saw the PI relatively low for such a fantastic power-to-weight ratio. We don't have the handling. You just don't have the handling to be going with it. Right, let's brake a little earlier down here. 152 miles an hour. Still certainly not to be sniffed at, that straight line speed. That is quicker. The fastest cars have only been doing 160. Oh, I should have short shifted. Or I say short shifted. I should have definitely got up to third. Slightly quicker than I did there. Second's not really going to work down that turn one. I think we're going to have to use maybe second or third down that part of the track. Come on. Come on, don't run across the AstroTurf. Really can't afford to put a wheel on the grass in this car. It will not end well for me. I think the good cars, if you put a wheel on the grass, chances are you're going round. With this that has so little grip, I'm not saying this is a bad car, but a car like this that has so little grip, a single wheel on the grass, a single wheel in a puddle in the wrong place, you're going to spin around in a circle and have a big crash. Right, so it was a little bit better a lap time. Maybe if we just keep it in third. Coming down here. Oh no, I tried to carry a little too much speed and then got some understeer mid-corner there. There we go. We can get it to full throttle down that section, which I am impressed by, actually. I don't know, overshoot the next corner because I was trying to get it to full throttle. We've had quite a few cars that have struggled a lot more than this, and I was really thinking this was going to be a sideways scary mobile. Not really the case. You can make it if you're an idiot with the throttle. Sure, you can make it a very sideways mobile, but if you're a little cautious, there's got to be a theme of this. I've often been expecting cars to be a lot harder to drive than they actually turn out to be, considering the amount of power that's going through this onto a wet track through relatively tiny rear tyres, certainly in comparison to a lot of the cars that have gone very quickly. We're down to a 53.1. Can I find a couple of tenths of a second on this final run? Get it into the 52s. I think that would be a pretty good showing for the RX3 if I can manage it. Let's try not to run too wide. Honestly, it sometimes helps running a little wide through there, especially in the wet with the puddle on the inside. Sometimes I don't really mind running in a little too deep, kind of get a later apex on that corner. We haven't had any rolling issues either with this car, although to be honest, it's kind of been quite easy to place this car wherever I want it on the track, just avoiding the curbs in general. There's a little bit of understeer through these higher speed sections, and certainly out of here. Here we go. There goes that understeer. You've got to be really quite slow. And things like the Lancia, we were flat out down here. The GT40 was flat out as well. That's not the case. But there's still pretty good traction. We're wiggling a little bit. Oh, we found some time. There we go. And I lost a tenth, I think, on that final corner, running a bit too deep. 52.7, though. That's not too bad at all, I don't think, from this car. The issue with it is more the understeer. We can't get the front end to get turned into to these corners. It's just not the grip there. It's quite controllable despite all of the brutal power. If you want to slide this car around, I'm actually surprised just how easy it is with all this. Is me we're talking about as well. Yeah, I quite like this car. There is just too much understeer. There's too much understeer to carry corner speed to get a good lap time, especially noticeable in that final section. Got to be so slow through there. And that's why the lap time, well, the 52.7 puts the car into 13th place. It goes a couple of tenths of a second faster than the Challenger Hellcat. It's a couple of tenths down on the Alfa Romeo 75. And that's all lost, I think, because of the understeer. A little bit on the traction front, but we've seen cars have a lot worse traction problems than this. But the understeer through certainly the slower corners towards the end of the lap over there kind of kill it a little bit. I really thought this was going to be a scary death machine. That isn't the case at all. The RX3, actually a really rather nice car to drive, while understeering, yes, very controllable. One of the more predictable, really, of the city car builds as well. So yeah, I really do quite like this vehicle. Anyway, though, it is now time to find out how quickly this is going to go in a straight line. And that, of course, means bringing the Mazda to Le Mans. Now, I have driven a very powerful one of these before down here, so I know that this can get pretty quick. I would perhaps expect, admittedly, we do have aero on the car now, whereas the previous ones it wouldn't have had. We should have more control, though, certainly, to get it up towards speeds. We might see speeds in excess of 230-ish. No, the aero's a little too much on the car, I should think. Okay, that way there's not going to work. Maybe reeling the gears back in again. Sometimes that can help. Nope. Okay, found about the sweet spot, about 220 there-ish. We shall, yeah, 220 miles an hour is what the game reckons the car can do. Yeah, I fear we may have issues across the bumps, potentially, at the end of the straight. We should have a lot more control, though, than the last time I drove the quad-rotor Mazda around here, which is good. It won't be moving from side to side, well, hopefully, going down the straight. Oh, that's a little too much speed into there. Please slow down, Mazda. Brakes are fairly decent on the car. Not the most impressive that I've seen, but they certainly do the job of getting the crazy Mazda stop. This is how it wants to drive. Okay, that's how the RX3 wants to drive down here. It's not how I want to drive it, but it's such an effortlessly easy car to slide about around there, if that is your thing. Right, let's get you onto the straight. Don't do any funny business across the bumps here. If you go across those bumps and it starts to slide, that's what's going to put the car into the wall. But was fortunately aware of that soon enough so that I could counter it. Right, onto the straight. Not the most blisteringly fast accelerating of vehicles. We only hit 200 miles an hour now. A lot of cars have hit 200 miles an hour before they've actually got to, or before they've left that corner back there. So yeah, we're not going to see it topping the table down here. Up to 215 miles an hour, though. That's still not too shabby, really. 217. Come on, we want 3 more miles an hour out of you, Mazda. 218. Are we going to get any more? I don't think we do slightly go downhill here. 219. Come on, that one last mile an hour, please. One more. One more. No, it's not going to do it. 219, I think, is all we're going to manage. We are nicely across the bumps, though. Very nicely, actually, across the bumps. Didn't really think about it in this car. And then we're at 217 miles an hour after the corner. And then we will jump on the brakes and maybe, possibly, get stopped. There we go. Yeah, I'm quite liking this car, to be honest with you. It's probably one of the more entertaining cars to drive in some respects. It's not the scariest and it isn't the fastest, but it's kind of quite easy to control its silliness. I know that's a really weird sentence to say, but yeah, it really is quite easy to contain all of the crazy, and there's plenty of crazy in this car. But yeah, it's just a generally nice vehicle to drive. Its straight line speed, well, it isn't the most impressive of straight line speeds. Let's face it, you know, we're talking 300 horsepower down on some of the faster cars, and you know, while it's not the worst shaped car we've had, it's also nowhere near the best. So the top speed of 219 miles an hour will put the Mazda into 15th place. It goes 1 mile an hour slower than a Subaru Brat. wouldn't necessarily have expected that. Admittedly, the Brat did have slightly more power. You know that, yeah, 1 mile an hour slower than the Brat, but it is 1 mile an hour faster than the Plymouth Fury. It's quicker than the Fiat, Fiat 595, quicker than the Willys Jeep and so on. It's down towards the slower end of the cars, but this might be one of my favourite city car builds in its, kind of really accessible, stupid power in this car. And there is, of course, an absolutely fantastic noise. Anyway, that is it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.